This scuba diver became a local hero on this day. He took it upon himself to save this baby dolphin from a dangerous situation near the sandy beaches. Everybody clapped and cheered when it happened. But what they did not realize was what was secretly going on in the background. When one spectator started screaming, it quickly became clear. Immediately, this man jumped into action. Click the like button and subscribe for more. In the heart of the Caribbean, nestled between the azure waves and lush greenery, resided the charming coastal town of Coral Cove. Brian, a native of this picturesque island, was a well-known figure amongst the locals and tourists alike. With an affable personality and deep-rooted knowledge of the sea, he had etched a place in people's hearts as the best scuba diving guide. Every weekday, Brian followed a ritual as ingrained in him as the tides of the sea. Post-breakfast, as the sun began its ascent and the vibrant hues of dawn yielded to the crystal-clear daylight, Brian would pull on his scuba suit, anticipating yet another day of marine exploration. Today was no different. The tourists he was to guide later wouldn't arrive for a few more hours, providing him an opportunity for a solo dive, his most treasured moment. But today, the ocean had a surprise in store for him that would shatter the tranquility of his routine and change his life in ways he could never have imagined. Brian was heading towards the deeper, unexplored parts of the ocean. Out in the deep, the ocean was a different realm, a silent world punctuated only by the hauntingly beautiful song of the whales. As he descended into the water, the sounds of the world above gradually receded, replaced by the muffled lull of the underwater symphony. Just as Brian began to lose himself to the underwater spectacle, a sudden commotion broke through the placidity of the water. It was a sound that signaled urgency and distress, enough to pull him out of his ocean-induced reverie and start paying close attention to the sound. Emerging to the surface, Brian saw a large group of tourists frantically waving and shouting from the beach. Their distress echoed in their voices. He did not know yet the hardship that took place there, but he knew that the commotion was not for nothing. So, he sailed over there. Upon closer observation, he found a baby dolphin ensnared behind the rock formation. It was too close to the shore and had no way to escape back to deeper waters. They wanted to help but were unsure how to proceed. Suddenly, one of the tourists recognized Brian out in the sea. With a desperate sense of urgency, they started screaming, hoping to draw his attention toward the grim situation at hand. The chorus of voices carried over the waves, reaching Brian, who was just resurfacing from his dive. As we know, Brian answered the call. After a couple of minutes, when he got closer, he saw it too. A baby dolphin, its small body struggling against the rough rocks that blocked its path to the open sea. Brian knew that he had to act fast and wasted no time. He put his boat into third gear and raced over there as quickly as he possibly could. Jumping into the shallow water, he felt a sense of urgency coupled with determination. As he slowly moved closer, the dolphin recoiled slightly, but Brian's calming demeanor eventually reassured the scared creature. The fear in its eyes slowly faded away, replaced by trust and gratitude. Brian's heart swelled as he saw the transformation of the animal. He held on to the dolphin, ensuring its safety while gently guiding it back to the open sea. The moment Brian's hand first brushed against the dolphin, an inexplicable bond formed between them. The connection was immediate and profound. Despite the initial panic, the rescue operation was smoother than Brian had anticipated. With gentle coaxing, the dolphin gradually began to swim away from the dangerous rocks and towards him. As the dolphin finally swam away from Brian, a loud cheer echoed from the shore. Each clap and each whistle resonated with the joy of witnessing such a heroic deed. Today was indeed different, more than he had ever anticipated. Amongst the applauding crowd stood a woman, her eyes fixed on the disappearing silhouette of the young dolphin. Her face was etched with worry, her gaze intense. Unlike the rest of the crowd, she didn't join in the cheers. Brian saw her. Her distant gaze and furrowed brows were hard to miss in a sea of smiling faces. His curiosity piqued, and he followed her gaze to the sea. That's when he saw it. The young dolphin, instead of disappearing into the deeper water, had turned around and was swimming towards the shore again. The crowd noticed the dolphin's return, and their cheers subsided into confused murmurs. Was the dolphin hurt? Why was it coming back? Questions buzzed in the air, but no one had the answers. Brian, intrigued and somewhat worried, decided to investigate. Without wasting a moment, Brian waded back into the water. As he got closer, he noticed the dolphin behaving unusually. It was creating a ruckus in the water, frantically splashing about and making distressed noises. His years of interacting with marine life had honed his instincts. Understanding that the dolphin was trying to convey a message to him, it became apparent that the dolphin wanted Brian to follow him deeper into the water. With a mix of apprehension and intrigue, he decided to heed the dolphin's call. As he followed the dolphin, it maintained a 5-meter distance from him, periodically turning to make sure he was following. The dolphin led him past the familiar rock formation and around a huge cliff that barricaded the vast expanse of the sea beyond. As he rounded the corner, what he saw made him gasp. A medium-sized fishing boat was anchored close to the shore, far away from its usual spot at sea. Its fishing nets lay sprawled, touching the sea bottom. Was this what the dolphin was trying to show him? He knew that fishing boats were not allowed this close to the shore. It was a protected zone due to the coral reefs and the diverse marine life it housed. Was there a violation happening right under their noses? Diving back into the azure depths, Brian swam towards the fishing boat, the salt of the ocean stinging his eyes and amplifying his determination. The sight that greeted him underwater was heartbreaking. There, ensnared in the merciless net, was a variety of aquatic creatures, many of them endangered species. Amongst them was a mature dolphin, her eyes filled with fear. The sight of the trapped dolphin stirred a wave of realization in Brian. This was the baby dolphin's mother. The dots connected in his mind. The baby dolphin wasn't just stuck. It was trying to seek help. It had come back to Brian, leading him to its trapped mother.